Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. Welcome back to my channel. So you haven't seen me on here for a couple of weeks. Last week I was on holiday, so I was intending to be off that week, but work got so crazy that I ended up having an unscheduled week off the week before as well. So it feels like an age since I've talked to you guys. So although you can't see my face, I'm saying hello to you, and it's lovely to be back making another video. So a couple of videos ago I made one of my favourite things that I've made for a really long time, and that was these potion bottles. If you didn't see the video, I'll pop it up, a card up here for you to have a look at it. I embossed these with a little bit of gilding wax, and I really like the green wire wrap at the top, but it doesn't show up very well on the smaller ones. When I made these bottles, I also made some really tiny ones. Now the tiny ones here, I've already wrapped the cord around the cap, so that means I can't really do with them now what I want to do with the next lot that I've made, which is to make some earrings. Now these are so small, these tiny ones here. These are the ones that I'm going to be making earrings from today. They are absolutely tiny, and it was actually a comment, I think it was when I was in the live chat when my potion bottle video aired. Somebody actually suggested making a loop out of wire, and that's a really good idea. So my plan is to use some of this beading wire that I've had for years. I honestly think this came from Hobbycraft. I've had it for such a long time. It was a set of 12 different colours. So what I'm going to do is make a small loop. This wire is going to be on the back, pinched together, trimmed to about here, and then with UV resin I'll hold that in place and wrap the crochet thread around the top, which will disguise the bottom of this wire and get rid of any sharp areas. And then I can use my long nose pliers and just open the earring hook and hook that on, so they will automatically then hang the right way round. So that's my plan. I'm going to discard those ones for now, and I'm going to focus on these. So what I'm intending to do is the gilding wax after I've wrapped the crochet thread around the necks. So in theory, this is a quick and easy project. In reality, it is going to be an absolute swine because these are tiny. I have dexterity issues because of my fibromyalgia, and I have tremors because I have non-epileptic seizures. So working on something this small, there's going to be a few clips of me dropping things probably, but I'll try to not do that. So the UV resin I'm using came from Amazon, and I'm going to spot cure it with this little torch, this little handheld torch that I've got. When I've done that, once these are finished, I will put them under my nail lamp and make sure that this resin is fully cured. So I am going to be wearing gloves because this is so small. There's no way that I'll do this without getting that resin on my fingers, and we don't want resin on our skin. Now it's going to be a minuscule amount of this resin, so I'm not wearing my respirator, but this is a really big, well ventilated room. If I feel that the smell's getting strong, I will put my respirator on, and then I'll voice over the video. Let's get started. First up, I'm going to cut these little loops. So I do have these round nose pliers here that you can kind of wind the wire around and make sure you've got a nice rounded edge. It does not need to be a long piece of wire because we want it to be covered up by the wrapping round of the thread, which is why it's going to be essential to have UV resin on this, because otherwise those ends are going to stick out and I just don't think it'll look that nice. So you can see how tiny this is. So I'm making that little loop that's going to sit right on the back there. So I'm going to do the same thing for all the rest of these. Okay, so let me just quickly test that. I'm not going to pull hard on this, but I just want to make sure they've caught. Yeah, good, excellent. Right, hopefully that was the hard bit done. So next I'm going to use this thin crochet thread which I've had for genuinely 15 years. I'm almost out. I need to find somewhere else to buy more because this is all I have of this colour. I have other colours, but this is the only one I've got in this colour. I use it for gift tags and all sorts. It's amazing. I use it for everything except crochet, in fact. Okay, so I'm going to, like when I wire wrapped my previous potion bottles, I'm going to have the UV on the back only, just so you don't see anything unsightly. So pop a bit of that on the back. This thread is super thin. Ah, no. It's a simple project, in reality fiddly as heck to do. When I did this last time, I used the nail glue UV because I felt like I had a bit more control, but for something this small, I think I have more control with the bottle this time. Okay, so now I'll wind. So the thread will stick to the UV. Once I cure it, it does cure through the thread. So I'm going to hold that like that, keeping a bit of tension on it. Looks okay from the front. Then spot cure that. I wish I had not put the lanyard on this, it's an absolute nightmare. Okay, that's good. I have the biggest scissors known to man because my small ones are really blunt. I will trim this properly with some smaller scissors once I find my ones that are actually sharp. I have some nail scissors next door that I will use to finish that off properly. So ignoring the tufty bit, which I will clean off in a minute, we now have a bottle with a tiny gold loop. So once that's fully cured, that will be bonded nicely on the back there, and you won't have any sharp edges from the metal because the cord's covering it. So repeat, lather, rinse. I can't even say lather, rinse, repeat. To be fair, it's 11:30 at night. I've been working all day, so I am tired. And I've got the dropsies. I keep dropping everything. So let's try another one, and hopefully, oh, too much resin. Let's see if I can share a bit with one of the other smaller ones because I've just put way too much on there. Okay, it's the same again. I'm going to leave it long and worry about the tufts afterwards because it's like just the only way that I can possibly grip everything. Okay, come on. Okay, keeping some tension. Some light on there. Pull that way a little bit. Bites so quickly, this stuff. It's amazing, this lamp. Okay. To the side. There is already resin on this little one because I scraped some off when I dropped the other, but I just want to make sure I've got plenty over where the metal parts are, because some of that is going to have cured. There we go. It's a minimal amount of resin that you need for this, but you do want to be able to make sure you've completely covered those sharp metal ends. These are earrings, you don't want anything catching on the delicate skin around your neck or under your ear. You do definitely need 3 hands for this. I'll trim these properly, as I said, afterwards. Okay, so I'm just going to do exactly the same for the rest. But while I've still got my gloves on, I'm going to add a little bit of gilding wax to these. So basically, last time I did this, I did it with my fingers, but these are way too small and I want minimal amount of this. So this is the Finnabair gilding wax. I'm just going to get a little bit on a brush, dab most of it off on a tissue, then I'm just kind of going to tickle it. Now this little bottle has loads of lovely texture on it, so I want to try to pick more detail on this one. So again, I haven't touched the brush again, I'm still using what's left on here. I'm picking up the facets on the outside of this bottle. There is also a bit of fluting on the bottom. So it's the perfect amount now. Now that I'm onto my last one, it's the perfect amount for dry brushing that's left on this brush. Now there was texture on this top part. I've covered some of that up by wrapping it, but I am going to pick up some of the high points on this top section. Adds a hint of shine. It just kind of brings them to life a little bit. Okay, done. That was nice and easy. So that is what they're looking like. I hold the earring posts out of the way. Just tip that a little bit. You can see they're catching the light. For these, I don't know at this point if I'm going to dirty the cord around the top. I don't think I am. I don't know. I might. But I want to get the earring posts on first, and this is something that I do not enjoy doing, because what I have to do now, because I knew that trying to wind that cord round while this was on the earring would have been hell. It really would have just kept getting in the way, and it hooks and catches. So what you need to do is just very carefully open this just a tiny bit, so that I can slip the loop that was on the bottle through, making sure it's on the right way around. You've got to be super careful. So I do have some long nose pliers, but my really tiny long nose pliers ended up broken. So this is, I might actually use my smaller flat ones, just because those other ones are really chunky. So minimal, because it's so easy to break these. I have broken several trying to do this, so I'm just, might be easier actually if I just kind of try to twist it a little bit, and then hook that on and close it again the way that you would with a jump ring, making sure that it is really fully closed. And there we have it, tiny potion bottle earring. How stinking cute is that? Oh my goodness, these are so adorable. Sorry, I keep saying that when I'm working with these little bottles. I must find another adjective, but they really are so cute. So here they are finished. I love them so much. That gold really just brings them to life, and it means it matches the hooks for the earrings. They're so tiny. As you saw in the video, they're really tiny, but I think they're adorable. Really happy with how these turned out. You could, if you wanted a whole bottle, you could actually do 2 sets of casting and actually put them back to back and glue them together. You could probably do that with UV resin as well. You would have a join that you'd have to cover, but it would then give you a complete bottle, and you could possibly sandwich the hook between the 2 layers if you did that, but that is going to give you a bigger gap. But anyway, I'm really happy with how these turned out, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Take care guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.